Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Confessions of an Autism Mom. Today, I have another amazing mom. Her name is Dawn. Let's welcome Dawn to Confessions of an Autism Mom. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, and thank you for coming on.
Of course, of course.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right on in today. First, can you just start off by giving us a bit of history about your journey being an autism mom and how you got your son diagnosed and why?
I my son is 4 and he was diagnosed last year in August. So I haven't been experiencing, not too long, but it's been an experience. I realized that I didn't notice. I mean, I noticed since he was like smaller, but I ended up having to I was like, you know what? Something's off. I think something ain't right, and I need to get him diagnosed. So we took him to ABA where they diagnosed him, and that's when I found out for sure that he was autistic.
Okay. Was your son verbal or nonverbal?
He's nonverbal.
Nonverbal? Okay. And
Mhm.
did he start talking and then kind of stop, or he just never spoke?
So at the beginning, before he started walking, he was saying a few words like bye bye, mama, dada, and stuff, and then it just stopped. Like he just
Okay.
completely, it's like he withdrew himself from the world. And that's the perfect way of me describing it. Like he just kind of was just withdrawn from everything. And that's when I knew I was like, you know what, something is different because he was more engaging at the beginning, and then he just pretty much withdrew himself from everything else.
Yeah, and I know that's a hurting experience. So
Oh yeah.
after you received your diagnosis, well, your son's diagnosis, how did that make you feel like mentally?
At the beginning, I was very exhausted. I felt like I was being ignored, like no one was taking me serious. So mentally, I was drained because I felt like nobody was listening to me. Nobody was hearing me when it came to his diagnosis. And so I pretty much withdrew myself. Like I had to I was just lost. Like I didn't know what to do, you know? So I just felt out of place. Nobody was listening to me. I felt ignored. I was mentally withdrawn from everybody, and it definitely affected me big time.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think that's one of the hardest things, like being an autism mom, because the first
Mhm.
thing people like to say is, well, every child like develops at their own
Mhm.
pace.
Mhm.
But it's something about autism, like, and it's
Yes.
not they're developing at their own
Mhm.
place. It's just that it's a feeling and you see it.
Yep.
Because I know for me, I had a lot of people telling me, well, why are you jumping to the extreme with autism? And
Mhm.
I was like, because multiple people told me, but it was also like
Mhm.
he's doing things, but then his speech, reverse.
Yeah.
So it's always
Yeah.
that feeling, and we always feel alone because people are looking at like, why
Mhm.
do you want him to develop at the pace of other
Mhm.
kids? And it's
Yep.
not that.
Especially with the
Um,
doctors when they quick to
yeah,
tell you like, well, let's give it some time. Let's just give him some time. He's still young.
yeah,
Us moms know when something is off, when something is different. And then I'm telling you, no, I think he is, and you telling me no, then it becomes a problem. It becomes
yeah,
concerning.
yeah. I really was like, I mean, like Aiden's pediatrician. We have a new one, but
Yeah.
even from the start, she was like, well, I think it's hearing. Is his hearing because he was still doing everything else.
Mhm.
And she
Mhm.
was like, I was like, no, it's some other stuff, but it's not on this list. And I really can't
Right.
explain it because I didn't know anything about autism.
Mhm.
So it's the doctors, it's them the most, if you're asking
Absolutely.
me.
I agree. I agree.
Okay. And your son, he's in ABA therapy now?
So he was in ABA, and then I had him in preschool. So we were doing like 3 and 3, but I had to take him from ABA, and I'm considering doing ABA at home because it was just a lot. And he don't adjust. They don't adjust to new things as far as their routine, if something interfere in their routine. And I feel
Right.
like he was adjusting to preschool a lot more because there's more kids involved. So I prefer for him to be 100% in the in school setting than in ABA.
Okay. Gotcha. And I think as a mom, I commend you for that because a lot of people are like,
Mhm.
oh, let me just keep my child in ABA and they don't see a difference. And it's like I tell everybody, like, I personally know my child wouldn't do well in a school setting right now. So that's
Right,
why we
right.
stuck with ABA. And people have to understand it's per child. And I'm
Mhm.
glad that you were able to, kind of notice that and kept him in the pre-K
Mhm.
setting. What are some of your biggest challenges that you face on your journey?
Oh man. Um One of my biggest challenges is in regards to being an autism mom is the fact that I can't completely understand him when it comes to his frustrations. Like I know something is bothering him and sometimes I'm like, what does he want me to do? And it becomes a challenge because as a mom you want to do everything. You want to help your child with everything. And sometimes it's kind of hard because he can't tell me what's going on. And when he's like out of nowhere just having one of his meltdowns, I'm trying to console him, trying to understand what he needs, and I'm like, show me, show mommy to. So one of the many challenges is not being able to understand him fully on what it is he's upset about in that moment. And I
Gotcha.
think it definitely bothers me till this day. I have moments where my mornings consist of crying all the time because I'm like I feel helpless, I feel defeatless, I don't know what else to do when it comes to my child, but I'm trying my best to learn him in every way possible.
Prayers to you, mom, because
Thank you.
I definitely understand. I think all moms can understand from
Oh
that
yeah.
point, like that communication. Something I think verbal people take for granted is
Mhm.
something that we need on a regular because we don't know. Like, even
Mhm.
though my son has a device and use pet cards,
Mhm.
I'm still like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I totally get it. Um, how do you care for yourself? I know you say like in the mornings you cry.
Mhm.
I'm a strong believer that crying is a form of self care because we can't just hold it in.
I
But
agree.
what are other ways that you care for yourself?
So I work out and I also am a part of a dance community where we go and dance and have a good time. And sometimes I'll like I said, I'll have my moments in the morning when after my oldest and him go to school. I have my moments where I do my journaling and then I have my emotional. So those are majority of my self-care moments.
Okay, and I love the dancing thing. What's
Yeah.
the age gap between your oldest and your baby boy?
So my oldest is 15 and my
Okay.
youngest is 4.
And how does your oldest adjust?
Oh man. So he is great with Brayden. He's very overly protective. He's learning just as much as we are. And I like the fact that he asks a lot of questions. He does a lot for Brayden. Sometimes he'll keep Brayden when I go to do my dance classes. So they're very like Brayden is finally coming around to adjusting to his big brother because he used to push him to the side, he wanted his space. But their bond is everything.
That's good. I love to hear that because I
Yeah.
know sometimes I know I had one mom. She did an interview and she was like, "My oldest, like, we have to really sit him down." I think she has a
Mhm.
boy too, if I can remember. But she's like, he said, "Oh, y'all treat him so different. Y'all didn't parent me like that,"
Yeah.
and they have to explain to him why it's such a big difference. But I love
I
that.
definitely have moments too. Like the other day,
Mhm.
I'm such a big crybaby, but I had a moment where I felt guilty because I felt like I didn't want him to feel like I had all my time was going to Brayden. And
Yeah.
so I had a moment with him and he was like, "Mom, what are you crying for?" He said, "I understand." And so sometimes I'll make sure I do little dates where we do mom and son dates and I take him out.
Oh,
So that way he don't feel like he's being ignored because he's a freshman in high school and
yeah.
that time is going to go fast. So I'm trying to make sure I balance my time out so that way I can have time with him as well.
It's amazing. That's really good that you give him his time.
Right.
Um, so I know for you, you said that moms, we need more outlets.
Hmm.
What would you consider like more outlets for autism moms?
Have brunches, do like daily check-ins with each other. And I think that's very, very important because again, I've had moments where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I want to break. And you have that opportunity to reach out to a mom who knows what you're going through. And so I feel like community brunches with autism moms, reaching out to them. Perfect example, you and the podcast, like things like this helps moms like us,
Yeah.
cope and come together and understand each other and make us feel better, So I feel like those are pretty good outlets for autism moms.
I agree. I think I want to say this the right way because I don't want to
Mhm.
offend anybody. I always feel like so many people talk about the kids and they also but they forget that the moms play a very important role.
Mhm.
The dads also and also
Mhm.
the caregiver. And I get so many messages talking about, oh, you're making your child your identity and then
Mhm.
you're selfish because you're talking about yourself versus your child. And so it kind of puts me in a place of like stepping back, like, am I
Yep.
doing the right thing?
Mhm.
But I feel like people forget, like, no, we have to talk about ourselves. We have
Yep.
to remind the caregivers, we have to remind the moms
Mhm.
that, hey, it is okay. Like, we're here for you as well because we have to pour into each other because we're pouring into these babies and these
Yep.
kids and even the people that have older adults that are on the spectrum. And because I know a
Mhm.
couple of women, they're still taking care of their like 23, 24-year-old daughter that's on the spectrum, and they've given me permission to talk about it. But I know it's one, she has to help her with the bathroom and stuff because she's still not potty trained. And she said, I feel so alone
Right.
because nobody understands. And it's really hard because I think people forget about the moms. And that's
Mhm.
why I kind of do it because I'm like, it's not a good feeling to
Mhm.
be, left out or whatever.
Mhm.
How do you feel about people that say there's no such thing as an autism mom? Because I hear that all the time too.
I remember hearing that and I was just like, "What?" I mean, how can you not make that make sense when you have an autistic child? It's
Right.
just autism mom because I have an autism child, an autistic child. But I think it's silly. I think that's another reason why us autism moms have outlets to reach out to each other and talk to each other because stuff like that will automatically put a mom in her bubble to where she don't want to talk. And then on top of that, she wants to shut down. And so it makes everything though she will explode if she don't have those opportunities to communicate with other people about it. So I think things like that is silly. I just be like, whatever. Like this is how I feel. This is what I think. And if this is what makes me happy, if my child is happy in this way, I don't care. I think it's just silly.
And then another thing they like to say is that we make it our identity, but I don't feel like
And that was one of the reasons why I was hesitant on doing BraySpeaks because of that. That
yeah,
was one of the main things that was in the back of my mind. And I'm like, no. And the
it's
best
not
part is having family behind you saying, do it.
right.
I think it's a good idea. Do it. So yeah, I think it's silly. I think it's
Yeah,
silly.
I got into it with a lady on Threads, and I normally don't say anything, but it's
Mhm.
kind of like, and then she put the word clout in it, and I was like,
I've seen that too.
yeah, I'm not chasing clout off of my
No,
son,
no.
because the thing about it, I'm not showing my son at his most vulnerable moments.
Mhm,
I don't even talk about my son during his most vulnerable moments.
mhm,
it needs to be talked about. It needs to be
Mhm.
shown. But at the same time, my son can't give me permission to
Right,
say, yeah,
right.
mom, put that on there. And I don't want him to get to high school and somebody's like, we picked this because social
Yeah,
media is
yeah.
only going to get bigger, you know?
Mhm, mhm,
And I don't want that for him. But yeah, I was like, I have a lot of stories if I really want to be big and try
mhm,
to blow up a per se cloud. I can tell some stories that,
mhm.
and it made me, it hurt my feelings a little bit, So I get what you're saying
Yeah,
about
no,
starting.
at the end of the day, it's all about especially for us autism moms, like you said, it's a perfect outlet. And
Yeah.
like you said, I was first hesitant on posting vulnerable moments with Braden, but I also
Mhm.
feel like that helped too because there's an
Okay.
autism mom out there who's not even, she's seeing us, but she's scared to open up because she don't know if she will be judged. And some of
Right.
those videos that you see on BraySpeaks, I do that because of that. I want to read, I want to get to those moms that are scared to come out and be
Yeah.
open about their child being autistic.
I love that. And since we are talking about BraySpeaks, can you tell us what that is?
So Brace Speaks is a nonprofit organization. It's pretty much just a outlet for the community. I wanted to, start spreading the awareness of autism. I'm still learning, and I was this is just the open outlet to get other people to learn. And it's not just for the autism community, it's for everybody because
Yeah.
there's family members who, like my family, they ask questions, they want to know things. And so I pretty much created this based off of an outlet for the community to be aware of what autism is.
Perfect. I love that. And with it being April Autism Awareness Month, do you have any events that you have going on or?
So I have I'm collabing with the dance community, the dance fit community that I'm dance with. We're doing it's called Scafit, and we're doing a dance event Tuesday coming up for Autism Awareness Month. And then I just recently posted it. I'm doing a walk for Brace Speaks, and that's the 27th of April for Autism Awareness Month.
Okay. And where are you located?
I am located in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
Okay.
Mhm.
How far is that from Charlotte?
Um, I would say about 30 minutes, depending on the drive,
Okay.
the
That's
traffic.
not far from Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of resources do you provide for the families with Brace Speaks?
So like I said, I'm still learning and
Okay.
still getting adjusted to everything. But what I do is I like to post educational things when it comes to
Okay.
autism because they're like I said, when my family asks me questions, I'm like, you know what, that's a good idea. I need to post that because some people don't know that. So I do things for educational purposes. I'm starting to do more. I'm gonna start doing more events to kind of get people involved. Like I said, outside of those that are autistic or families who
Yeah.
have autistic child or have an autistic child, I want them to get more involved as well because you don't hear a lot about, the autism community. So I feel like that would be, a good way to, spread autism awareness.
Perfect. That's an amazing idea, and you have to start somewhere. So
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
have to always say,
Absolutely.
like, even with me, I know it's some things that I have to fix, and I'm steady learning every day. But I'm like, I had to start somewhere because
Mhm.
waiting for perfection, you'll never get it done.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
good job with that.
Thank you.
So, with your organization, what has been one of the most rewarding things so far?
I would say one of the most rewarding things for me, it might be silly, but I would have to say the outpour of the support. I didn't realize just how important or how big it will be as far as the community that I'm in. I didn't think people would actually be interested. I thought people would brush it off. So the rewarding part for me is watching people wanting to learn and wanting to get more about what it is, about what autism is. So that to me is very, very rewarding.
And that is not silly because
Mm.
you never know the results of when you're going to do
Right.
something. So I'm glad that the community is really supporting you when it comes
Mhm.
to it. Um, what is one of your most rewarding moments since you got your son's diagnosis?
Um, One of the most rewarding things since his diagnosis, is being able to know how to say it, how to juggle things around Braden and understanding that he has a routine and that I know how to accommodate it without interfering and upsetting him, or I know how to adjust to certain things without feeling like, oh my God, like what did I do? Or setting him off pretty much. So for
Yeah.
me, that to me is big and rewarding because I'm able to accommodate him. And like I said, I'm still learning as an autism mom. Like I'm even considering going to doing some RBT classes so that way I could get more understanding of him as far as the ABA part. So yeah.
Yeah, and those RBT classes are helpful because I took a small course last
Uh-huh.
year,
Uh-huh.
and they are very helpful.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm definitely gonna consider doing that.
and also look online now because sometimes, like, a lot of places have free courses,
That's
and
what
you
I was
can
about to
keep
say.
them.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure what site it was, but they are offering free courses. But
yeah.
I did see, like, I like to scroll through the comments. Somebody said that even though that they're offering the courses, you still have to take the test to be
Yes.
certified. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I really need the test, but I'm
Right.
like, I can read and
Just to be
comprehend.
educated.
Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Just to know more. So, and I enjoyed those courses and I learned so much. What advice would you give a new autism mom?
Don't give up. I know that's cliche, but that right there, when I say I was mentally withdrawn and mentally drained, I was I was on the verge of just saying, I don't know what else to do. Just throwing my hands up. So for me, the biggest thing is to not give up. Don't give up on yourself and don't give up on your child.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, at the end of the road, there's going to be something rewarding. And I'm still, like I said, with him recently being diagnosed and him just being young, now I know the diagnosis now. So I'm
Yeah.
able to work with that. And as he gets older, I'm able to accommodate and learn more as he gets older. So for me, I would say please do not give up. Just keep going and keep striving. I know it's easier said than done, but you got this. You got it. You got it.
And then and I always say that I'm like, everything sounds so cliche, but it's not
Right.
cliche
It
because it
right.
actually applies to our lives,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it applies. And even small little things my mom would say to me back when I was younger, like
Mhm.
I didn't have any patience, like at all. Like I'm the type of person, I'm not waiting at no gas station. I can be on E. I'm not waiting for a pump at the gas station. If I don't feel like stopping, I'm going home. Like that's how like I will get in line and if it's taking a long time, I will leave everything right there. Like that's how bad I used to be. But my son has taught me that's I'm serious. That's how bad like my patients were. Like I would
Mhm.
go shot for everything and be like, yeah, I'm not doing this. My
Right.
son taught me patience.
Mhm.
And I always tell people like a mom, you become a new woman. But when you're an
Mhm.
autism mom, there's
Oh
definitely
yeah.
like this
Oh
big
yeah.
growth. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like there's know what I'm talking
When
about?
when they tell kids, oh, you done had a growth spurt, that's how I feel becoming an autism mom. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I thought I was okay. I thought I was exclusive as just as his mom, but golly, it requires
Right.
a lot. So yeah, I
And
definitely understand what you're saying.
and it, like you said, a growth spurt. And it
Hmm.
happens in a short amount of
Oh
time. Like
yeah.
you're this new woman.
Hmm.
And I don't think people believe me when I say like, oh, that don't bother me no more. Or this
Hmm.
because I'm telling people an autistic child will literally make you see life through a different light.
Hmm.
And that may sound cliche because they see the world in a different light, but when you
They
stay
do.
with them and you're living with them
Hmm.
24 hours, you
Yeah.
experience everything in a better way of
Hmm.
life. That's
Because
you
I
know,
always say I thought I had patience, but now that I have him, oh my God, patience. Yeah, I thought I was patient, but I guess, yeah, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a
yeah, I
lot of
ain't never
patience.
had none.
It
I ain't
takes a
never
lot.
I ain't even gonna lie, I never had it. It was horrible, but now
Oh
it's
man.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Looking back, just like a year ago, what
Mhm.
would you tell yourself day one of finding out about your son's autism?
Stay trusting your instincts. If you feel something ain't right with your child, you stay with that. Don't brush off what just because of what a doctor told you. Don't brush it off. Don't extend it. You trust your instincts because had I trust my instincts then, I would have been had done something. But things happen, and I'm glad somebody had finally listened. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would say trust your instincts. Don't just stop because somebody told you no.
yeah. And what is your confession as an autism mom?
Um, my confession as an autism mom. Do I have one?
It
I
can be
think
anything.
let me see. Do I have a confession? The only only confession I have as an autism mom is sometimes, which I think every mom autism mom does this, but I give my son snacks for breakfast sometimes when
Oh,
when that's all he wants, or I really don't have any confessions. I feel like
yeah,
I'm such an open book, especially on
yeah,
BraySpeaks, that I don't really have any I think everybody sees those confessions come
yeah.
out to light on BraySpeaks. So I don't really think I have any confessions.
Yeah. I'm like that too. Like some mornings, if he can eat breakfast, and if he wants some muffins, I'm gonna give him those muffins
Yeah, hey, take it.
because I don't want to hear that today.
Yeah,
Like, but
that's me. I'm like, I don't want no smoke, son. So you go ahead and you eat
right,
that candy if you want to.
like, and I know, like, my mom lives with me, and sometimes I know she
Mhm.
looks at me like I'm crazy because she's really like a health freak, like,
Right.
and I'm like, listen,
Hmm.
I
And
don't
my
want no
mom's
problems
picked up on
today.
the habit too, because I live with my mom too. So she be
Yeah,
like, you know what? Go ahead, take that cookie. If you want that cookie, go
yeah.
ahead and take it.
Baby, it can be 9 o'clock in the morning. You want the muffins? I don't care that you get these muffins because
Go
it's
ahead,
not
take it.
today. Is not the day. So I
Nope,
definitely,
I'm not
I'm
fighting with
not
you.
going to be arguing with no child that
Yep.
yeah. So I definitely get it. So tell everyone where they can follow you on all platforms. You all, we're gonna follow her journey with Brave Speak, and you also do activities. I gotta do mine because
Mhm.
you tagged me in one. I think be active.
Yeah, so we're doing a challenge for Autism Awareness Month called Move for Brace Speaks. And that means you can jump rope, you can walk, go swimming, just do something that requires you to move. And so I also wanted to once you post it, you hashtag Move for Brace Speaks and you tag Brace Speaks. But yeah, that's one of the challenges we created. And my Braden's dad is also a barber, and he's doing a cut once a week for kids who are autistic or adults who are autistic. So he's doing
That
that
is
for
so
free for
nice.
once a day, well, once
Okay.
a week, you know.
Okay. That is, I love that. Y'all, I'm
Yeah.
gonna post all this, so y'all probably will see it before you hear or see the podcast. If you can send me that information, I would love to
Of
post
course.
all of that.
Of course.
And you all make sure you all follow Dawn's journey. She posts a lot of amazing, informative information. I enjoy when her stuff pops up, and I know you all
Yeah.
will too. So make sure you all follow her, and I will put her Instagram platform, all her platforms in the description box below, y'all. So thank you for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And you all make sure you all support Done. And we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.